let's see what this guy's got going on. God, I hate this guy. Oh, man. Let me just see.
So,
I hate his face. Hate his face. Dislike.
Yo, I just booked my first wedding. Yeah? Dope. When is it? Next week. Can you believe it? Next week. Okay. Do you have any gear? Yeah. I have two 12-inch speakers. Okay. Well, you might want to rent or borrow somebody's sub. Okay. All right. That's cool. What about microphone? You have a microphone? Well, I mean, I have a corded microphone. Yeah. Again, you might want to go out and rent or borrow somebody's wireless microphone. Okay. A week from now is pretty quick. Do you have all the music? Do you have everything they need? I have some music, but I have like my SoundCloud streaming service, and if I need to, YouTube. How much are they paying you? Bro, 6 hours plus the ceremony, $300. Oh, you're good. Yeah? Yeah, you're good, man. You're good. Have a good time. Sweet. Thanks, man.
What is going on? Sorry, people. I had to eat something before I started the show. I just came from the gym. So, yeah. So I had to eat something. So I apologize for the extended wait time for you guys. But, it's just like anything else in the world. You got to wait nowadays. Customer service has gone to shit. So I'm going to eat and talk to you. So sorry. As I've stated before, specifically about DJs and health, I think it's important that we put a focus on what it is that we do with our lives. So for me, that means really, really focusing in and doing the right stuff. So you guys already know, I did the fast, the 90 day fast, the 90-hour fast. I guess it would be almost 2 weeks ago, I believe. But more importantly, I cut all the trash out of my diet. So I haven't had sugar besides what comes in foods. I'm not trying to be crazy, but I haven't had any processed sugar whatsoever. I try to stop eating around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, give or take. And if I need to eat something later on, I'll have a protein shake or something like that. And it is amazing the way my body's reacting, which I didn't expect it to react this fast. I had a goal for get to New Year's. Started basically October 1st. So that would put 3-month goal. At the rate I'm moving, I'm going to hit that goal literally probably in the next 4 weeks. So the diet is the most important part. The diet is the most important part. Now, you're going to see me eating anyway. Pablo in the house, what's going on? You're going to see me eating anyway because we're human beings and we eat. That's just facts. We eat. So I'm not going to hide it. I was going to try to push it off. I'm not pushing it off. I'm just going to eat in front of you guys. So I'm sorry if eating grosses you out. There's nothing I can do. So hope everybody's having a great week. My week has been busy. I have another, but the speed of the impact will slow down. Hey, Mixmaster G. Hey. We don't need that. We don't need that in the air. We're going to remain positive. No negative Nancy's here. No negative Nancy's. It doesn't matter if it slows down. I'm pretty close to where I wanted to be anyway, in all honesty. And the reason why it's not the exercise, because I've been able to exercise. I exercise all the time. And yeah, I will hit a plateau, but the diet is a life-changing thing. That's the stuff that I never accounted for before. You know, you cheat. Oh, I'll just do this now. I'll just do that. But literally having this kind of strict diet, even if it slows down a little bit, it's still moving much faster than I could have if I just kept my diet the same. I'm telling you. And legitimately, I pretty much eat what I ate before. I just cut the sugar out. That's the key. It's the sugar. And I mean, essentially, I didn't cut my carbs down. I just traded them in for more fiber-rich carbs instead. So like breakfast, you know, today I'm eating a little bit of rice and turkey and vegetables just to get a little fiber, get my protein back. But then later on, I'll probably have my breakfast because I'll have an egg, I'll have some oatmeal, you know, some fruit, just little stuff. You know what I mean? Easy. It's all about that. It's just about just trying to stay consistent, keep your diet as consistent as possible. No, you're absolutely right. I remember the day he did it. I don't say it was the day. It was probably like the week he did it, because we were at Beyond the Music, and in Arizona, and he was like, "Yeah, I've just started this new all carnivore diet. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just having carnivore, having meat, just meat. Like, oh, okay. Well, let me see how it goes." And then like he just the last 2 years just fallen off. So yes, as far as transformation, I didn't have that big of a transformation. Okay. Like my biggest problem is I like sugar a lot. I like snacks, you know, and I used to snack all the time. That was my weakness. Like a bag of M&Ms, easily go through those things. A bag of M&Ms, 2 bags of M&Ms. I still love my ice cream. I miss my ice cream. I miss ice cream more than M&Ms. I'm going to go back to having ice cream, obviously, but I'm just trying to get through at least 30 days. If I can do more, I'll do more. But I'm trying to do 90. We'll see. That's a lot. Got to get through Halloween, which I don't think I'll have a problem with. And Thanksgiving and just the holiday parties, you know, people are drinking and having a good time, you know? So I'm not gonna stop life for it. You know what I mean? Like if I want to have a glass of tequila, I'll have a glass of tequila. Maybe I won't have 8 glasses of tequila, but 1, you know, I gotta live life. I gotta live life too. So anyway, let's talk about 7.5. I'll figure out a happy medium. Is it 12? Is it 8? Yeah, let's just do 6 and call it even. You know, if I wasn't so busy, like even when I'm like, I don't have a lot of free time right now. This has been a crazy start of this season. I mean, we have, first off, we're traveling. You guys know I was in Idaho this weekend doing a bat mitzvah actually. Before that, plus we had an LED wall, a full lighting install. The week before we had an LED wall. We have 2 LED walls this week, plus 10 parties. And then following week we have, I think 8, and we just booked another LED wall. So it's just been busy. It's just been busy. It did not take an LED wall to Idaho. No, no, no. That's a whole other story, which we'll talk about in a minute. So we had an LED wall here, and I didn't want to go to Idaho because I knew we had a light install, we had an LED wall, we had all this stuff that I knew I was going to have to like be around for. All this stuff. And then shit did happen. We managed, but I'm not going to lie, shit did happen. So that was tough. Tough for me, tough for tough for my daughter. And Halo Top. I've tried Halo Top. It's okay. I mean, if I'm going to eat it, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to enjoy it. Like, I'm of the mindset that if you're going to indulge in good shit. Like if you've spent all this time, like really, focusing and having a clean diet and doing all these things, right? And then the day you splurge, you eat some cheap ass stuff. That just seems like a slap in the face. Give your body what it deserves. Indulge. If you're going to have some chocolate, don't have just some M&Ms. Go have some Ghirardelli. You know what I mean? Go eat something good. Enjoy it. So if I'm going to have some ice cream, I'm going to have some ice cream. Shit, I might even go to Cold Stone. I'm going to account for the calories, but still. And I don't really count calories. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't count calories. I just kind of stick to I eat 3 meals a day. And then if I do snack, it'll be either a protein shake, some form of protein, or some form of fruit. I'll eat an apple, something like that. I eat a protein bar. But I don't really count calories because I know for a fact that I'm not hitting. It would take a lot for me to hit my maximum calories. Just to like break even, I think I have to hit like 2,500, 2,600 calories. So I'm not really worried about that. I'm just trying to eat healthy. That's it. Simple. Hey man, that's a quote you can take to the bank with you. That's a quote you can take to the bank. Now, all right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And the room is regular sized. We can briefly talk about Nick's video. T Diesel in the building. What's going on? I'm going to see Tron, I think tomorrow with the wife. We were supposed to go last Thursday night or Friday. Then my family got sick. So we're going to try tomorrow. As long as we can get somebody to watch. Yeah, was supposed to go one of those days. But then on Monday, she had to go into work. She changed her schedule basically. She's essentially a nanny for this little girl, special needs girl. So no, nothing to really talk about. I'm just gonna be honest. So we're gonna go tomorrow. Assuming that I can get everything loaded in the truck. We have two LED walls this weekend, plus the 8 parties, plus a full lighting install. Again, we just booked another LED wall for next week, and I'm gonna have to DJ and run the LED wall because all of our techs aren't available. And then we don't even slow down. We never slow down. We never slow down. We won't slow down until third week of December, and then we'll have a little bit of a break. Okay, so first off, I don't have any negatives to say about Nick's video. He's entitled to his opinion. Do I think his opinions are completely valid? I mean, to him they're valid. To me, speakers are absolutely subjective. Okay. They really are. And there are speakers out there that people rave about that I can't stand. Okay. So I'm not going to be one to say, oh, well, Nick's not allowed to feel this way. Okay. He can feel it however he wants. However, Nick may be a little biased. I mean, Nick is a RCF lover. I mean, it's the same thing as like, I get it. If you have a speaker that you're trying to always compare to, if you're using RCF or something else, and then you go and use another speaker, it may not sound good to you. And, and you might hate on it. That's just facts. Like for me, I think the QSC KC12 is fine. Do I love it? No. Am I ever going to love it? No. But I will use it, and I can see why a lot of people would like it. It's just not the speaker for me. So I don't have a problem with an opinion. Again, definitely leaning RCF for Nick. It's obvious, but he's allowed to his opinion, honestly. But I'm just saying, I've used them. I've used a crap ton of speakers in my life. As a matter of fact, I don't ask me to tell you exactly which model, but my partner runs the JBL 900 18s. Okay, loves them. They hit. They're ridiculous, right? He upgraded his SRX tops. We moved those down to another system, and he upgraded to the RCF big boy. I don't know which one it is. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. But he's like, I'm happy now. I got exactly what I wanted. So because he wanted highs to match his subs. So I guess what I'm saying is like, but I've listened to all JBL, QSC, EV, some RCF. I've used RCF on parties. I didn't love the sound of the RCFs. And what else? LD, Bose, Pioneer. Like, I mean, I've hit the majority, and then sometimes when you're renting from people, they'll have their high-end stuff. So all I'm saying is that it's 100% subjective. So we have to allow a person to feel that way. But I use them on the regular. I have nothing but praise for the 90s. Now, if you were talking about the 70s, I would say the 70s are good, solid speakers. They're good, solid speakers, and you're not going to have any problem with them. But once you hear the 90s, it's really hard to use this. It's really hard to appreciate the 70s as much because the 90s sound so good. Now, having said that, I'm pretty sure that both RCF and EV are going to be blown out of the water by the bass bus setup. Now, I'm not sure about this, but if they do what they're supposed to do and the cost of the speaker system, it better, for how much they want, it better blow everybody out of the water. Everybody. I'm trying to get my hands on one too for some events. Yeah, but to spend $8,000 for a column array, for one side of a column array is absolutely insane. Now, they could be the best speakers you'll ever use, and it's still insane. It's like it's kind of like if you guys are gamers out there, and maybe you use like a Steam Deck or something like that, little handheld system, right? I have one. Which one do I have? The Lenovo Legion, a little handheld when I want to play some games every so often. But I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if I could play like my Xbox Game Pass games. So, Xbox has one that came out. Xbox Rogue Ally, whatever. Anyway, it's $1,000. It's $1,000 for a handheld. And I'm thinking $1,000 for a handheld, I'd be better off buying a PlayStation and an Xbox for the same cost. So it's like, I don't care how good it is. I don't care how good it is if it's $1,000. It can be the best thing you'll ever see. Does not matter because it's $1,000. And that's kind of my feeling on the Bass Boss. I'm sure it's going to sound amazing, but it's $8,000 a piece. I don't know who their market is for these speakers. I really don't, because they're priced higher than everybody. So we'll see. I did not see any Control Vinyl because I've barely been online. I've barely been online. So back to what I was saying. I love the way the EV sound. I do. You know, the limiter is a joke. The limiter is the worst thing they could have done for that system. If there is a fault to that system, it's the screen with the limit sign on there. That's the fault. That's the fault, because there's nothing wrong with those speakers. But that limiter is so damn aggressive, it's literally burning them. In all honesty, I run those. I've run them up to 225 people, you know, and they sound great. I have nothing but good things to say about them. Now, I mean, if you're looking for like supreme bass, right? You know, I feel like you'll get them close. You'll get it close on the 90s and decent on the 70s. I think somebody said, is the difference from the 70s to the 90s as big as the 50s to the 70s? I would say so. I would absolutely say so. And it's not, the 90s and 70s sound very much alike. It's just the 70s will peak out at a certain level. At a certain level, they'll peak out. And then you'll just be like, that's as high as I'm going, you know? But the 90s, their peak is higher than what most people would be comfortable playing anyway, if you get what I'm saying. So I don't have a problem with that, you know? But I mean, again, I'm not using the 90s for 300 people. I'm using Point Source for 300 people. So to each their own, you know, they're very entitled to their stuff. And, you know, I mean, an honest opinion is a relative term, like I said, because it's subjective. So an honest opinion is still subjective. It's just your honest opinion. But like, I love Nick. Nick and I are friends. I don't have a single problem with Nick. And like I said, Nick can do his thing and it works. This is how Nick does things. You know, I mean, and not negative, just like, you know, the way he does things, you're drawn to it because you're like, is he gonna, even if he's glowing about a product, you're still drawn to it going, okay, when are you gonna start shit talking? When are you gonna start shit talking? You know, like it's a part of him now. So I'm sure he's looking at this like, you guys are blowing this out of proportion. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Let's see here. We will wait for the rest of your post. And Jay Davis is correct. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head here. It's the same thing as I just talked about Bass Boss. I can talk about RCF. It's different price points. So for people to be like, that's like driving a Ferrari and then getting in a Honda, like, it's just not the same. Well, yeah, we know it's not the same. You just spent $130,000 on the Ferrari and you spent $40,000 on the Honda. Yeah, they're going to be different. And that's okay. That is okay. You know, so I've always tried to keep my reviews in perspective of cost, because I know that cost will open up the door or close the door for a lot of people. Okay. So if a controller comes out, new CDJs, 3,500 a piece, I know that even if you watch my video, there's a huge majority of people that are like, I'm never buying them things. Like, I know that, you know, if I talk about a controller, you know, maybe it's 1,000. I know a lot of people are going to look at that. So my opinion is going to be very, very important to what it is. Because I can say the best things or the most worst things about the CDJs. Most people won't care if they're in that price range. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Both friends. I'm not opposed to either one. I mean, look, I'll still get the best sound out of a passive speaker, out of a passive system. Always, but it's 2025. We're kind of beyond that. We're kind of beyond that. I mean, to be fair, I did a video on the KC12s before they released, and I did get some heat from people like that. And I didn't even talk about the sound profile. I didn't talk about anything. I just talked about the fact that they were 12s. And you people raving saying 500 people are liars. That's all I wanted to do. You guys are liars. 500 people. And then it's interesting to me. The only thing I will say about Nick's video, he did bring up the number that it says in the pamphlet, because it's like, it'll do this many people. And he was just like, and I'm like, okay, but at this point, we've all said, I have said this several times now. Several times. I'm like, look, the 90s, I'll get comfortably up to 225. And after that, I'm stopping. You know what I mean? So paperwork versus real life are different things. In a vacuum, a lot of things can do a lot of different things in a vacuum. But when you're doing a party and there's outside and you got things in the way, you got a big ass room, you got a big open area, you got big ass ceilings, like all of these variables play into it. So yeah, I'm sure it could do 500 people in the most optimal setting, in a cocktail party. Just people walking around in a room with enclosed walls. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you very much. You are correct. Okay. I mean, look, we could talk about Nick all day. We could, but I think you just, take what he said. If you find something good from it, take it. If you find something you don't like about it, take it and just, move on. Everybody's got their thing. Everybody's got their thing. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, they really do. I thought him going through the touch mix instead of adjusting the speakers himself. Let me know what the review is going to be. Damn, you guys are just haters, man. Haters on Nick. Okay, I'm going back up because I saw a question up here somewhere. All right. Looking at laptops for Rain Performer, Serato. I prefer PC, not Apple. Doesn't matter. No. RTX 5080. That doesn't matter at all. 2 terabytes storage. Okay. 32 gigs of RAM. I think I'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah. They don't tap into the graphics card in any of the music software. I don't know if DJ does, but I know Serato does not tap into the graphics card. It's all processor based. So I noticed you didn't mention processor on here. You mentioned storage. You mentioned the graphics card. You mentioned the RAM. So I'm assuming it's something relatively new based upon the specs you're giving me. So I'm sure you will be fine. All right. Okay. Okay. I hate those. Stop moving. I'll buy stuff under his own brand, SC Audio Check. I totally known here in Germany, but it's real hit. I'm sure. I mean, custom speakers are always probably going to be the best. Well, okay. So I felt the same way, but apparently it's not that there's no sound in space. It's just that there's nothing to push the sound along. So technically there is still sound. You just can't hear it. If that makes sense. Okay. Hold off on MacBook Pro M4s. I mean, at this point, does it really matter? I went back to my M1 because I like the size. My 16 M4 sits over there and I use it for video walls. I still have not seen anything slow down my M1. And using DJ, because I was in Utah, Idaho this weekend, and I never plugged it in. I was using it before. Then I got to the party and I was having so many problems with the other parties that I just plugged in the USB and went to work. I made it through the entire 4-hour party. Never plugged it in. I was down to like 10% using DJ. I mean, this is a 2020 computer and I'm still getting 4 hours out of it. In DJ, I can't make that same statement in Serato. In all honesty, Serato's kind of a power suck. Anyway, Serato Video uses the graphics card, but that's not what we're talking about here. And in all honesty, how many people still use Serato Video? Be honest. I'm going to eat again. How can I stop a USB connected mic from echoing on a PC? Trying to broadcast using mixed software. You need more information than that. But if you're using a USB mic, are you using like OBS or something? It sounds like you have a mix minus issue, is my guess. Okay. All right. Let's see here. And by the way, guys, we're not staying too long today. I do have a meeting at 1 o'clock, but I have a gig tonight. So I need to, what is my schedule? I need to get as much done. I'm finishing up on a montage from a client who couldn't get me the files until last night. Her montage is due for her party this Saturday. So not very happy about that one, but I got a meeting at 1, a Google Meet, a meeting at 2, and then I'm gonna have to push this Justin Dibs meeting. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Intel Core Ultra 9. I'm sure you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I mean, Robert, yeah. I mean, that's always what I've said. But let's be real here, okay? Mainstream stuff is mainstream because there's accessibility to it. So if something's amazing, but it's got to be handmade or they only have a certain amount and repairs take forever, like most people aren't going to do that. You know, so the best is not necessarily the best. If you hear what I'm saying, like something can be the best, but the maintenance is trash or service is trash or, it's uber expensive. And it's like, okay, so it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. I mean, what I said about DJI, okay, like the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is one of my favorite cameras. But knowing that America, the United States of America specifically, has so many problems with DJI and has had problems. This isn't a new thing. This isn't a tariff thing. They have wanted to block DJI products from entering the United States for years. For years. So The tariffs are just one more thing that they're using. So when you start to buy products, when you're like, well, I love this product, but if I can't get service or repair, or things are harder to get, or they're more expensive, do I buy them? You get what I'm saying? So it's like there has to be the ability to buy these things. And if it gets too hard, people aren't going to buy it, unless you're dumb rich. Hey, research it. Seriously, research it. There's a whole thing, because it's not a myth. I mean, it is accurate, but honestly, research it. I think even Neil deGrasse Tyson said it. We gotta appreciate the Black King of Planets. So DJI, as good as it is, if I can't get my stuff fixed, or if I'm concerned, I was already concerned when I bought the damn thing. People are like, screen is fragile. It fell one time, screen broke, dead. Everything else works on it. So technically, if I use my phone, I could still control it, but that's too much work. So right now I'm looking at the Insta Ace, the Insta Ace 2. That's what I'm looking at for just for my like vlogging camera. I'll still have my 360, and I know you can vlog with the 360. I don't know why. I don't like it. I just don't like it. Don't ask me why. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what it is? Maybe it's because the battery doesn't last as long as like my Pocket did. I don't know. There's no real reason that I can't use it, in all honesty. We'll think about it. Anyway. Okay. Update on my experience with Rekordbox 7. The effects worked, so I'm assuming that they are limiting features on Rekordbox 6. My thoughts on RB7. I'm not a fan. Too many locks. It seems like it's heavily paywalled. I do videos on it, and I'll run into paywalls when I'm doing reviews. So, yeah, that could be an issue. Oh, I mean, that's not the downside of powered lighting. That's the downside of shitty people. Because if you plugged it in, somebody could still unplug it and take it with them. You know what I mean? So that's just shitty people. And I couldn't use stems with the Flex 10. What do you mean you couldn't use stems? I used stems with the Flex 10 in Rekordbox. Just let me know what's going on with that. I know there's going to be changes. That's why I want to get it out right now. So then she can say, can you fix this and fix this and fix that? And then I'll change it on Friday and be done with it. The good news is we're doing the LED wall. So it's easy. Send it to my daughter. She'll work it out. I mean, if you use DJ, you don't have to wait ever. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to be that guy, but it's nice to not have to think about software. Okay. I don't know, man. I think at this point, because there are so many options and you really can buy anything all the way back to an M1, I think Apple's stuff is definitely better. Now, look, I know a lot of companies, all these processors are starting to come out and they're starting to compete with them, but it's hard to compete with the ecosystem. That's the issue. It's the ecosystem. It wins every time. Look, let's be real here, okay? I know we can tell the difference between a really, really good speaker, okay? And we can tell the difference between a really, really bad speaker. But everything in the middle, nobody cares. Nobody cares. I'm not talking about us DJs. I'm not talking about us engineers, us, music producers. I'm talking about regular people. Nobody cares. The stuff we do, the stuff we buy, it's not for them, it's for us. Nobody cares. Now, am I telling you not to buy stuff? Absolutely not. Go buy. Make your stuff look good. Make your stuff sound as good as it can. Because there's going to be one person that's going to be like, what are you using in your equipment? I'm hiring you for. And you're going to be like, well, I use this. And they're like, oh. That one person. Everybody else? I do 400 events a year. Not one person has asked me in the past year now, what speakers am I bringing? They haven't asked me about what lighting. They haven't asked me the model or the make of my LED panels. They have not asked a single thing. Or, what type of gobos or what type of... Nobody cares. Just do what's right for you. I'm the worst, influencer ever. I'm terrible at this. Man, I am terrible. Oh, Lord. Okay. 10-inch active speaker. Fed in the building. What's going on? 10-inch active speaker. I would say, QSC's is good. You know who makes a really good 10-inch speaker? You're going to laugh. Pioneer. Their 10-inch speaker kind of hits. I have been impressed by that speaker. I think their 8s might be even... 8s, was it? Got the 10? Yeah, I got the 10s first, and then they sent me the 12s. The 12s are good, but those 10s are the sweet spot. QSC 10s, I don't love the sound coming out of the 12s. Matched up with the subs, yes, they sound good, but alone, I've never loved the sound of the QSC highs. Alone. Oh, don't get me started on Flip. But in all honesty, Flip is just as bad on Serato. When was the last time they even updated Flip? It's been a decade or more. It's trash. It's trash. And I love Flip. They ruined an opportunity there. It pisses me off every time I think about Flip. Let me just break one thing down. I think that the people who made Flip, they're not even available anymore. I think that they can't do anything with Flip. But let's do one thing with Flip. If they did this with Flip, I would never leave the program. Okay? Right? Would never leave the program. You got Flip. You got your different versions. As you're playing, because right now it only remembers basically actions, okay? Movement of the jog, and not even movement of the jog, but just where that jog starts again, or the buttons, right? So it saves those in there. You can't edit them after the fact. You have to redo the whole thing. But if they could allow for stems to be in Flip, so I can do multiple versions of stems, bass lines, acapellas right off of the track. I can mute out the bad words, put them back in. If they could do that, I would never leave Serato. I would never leave Serato. And people will be like, oh, you should try. I'd be like, fuck that. Oh, what about? Fuck that too. I would never leave Serato. I'm just saying. They are missing an opportunity. Such an opportunity. And Virtual DJ has something similar to it, but it is so complicated to use that it's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. But anybody who comes out with that, anybody who comes out with a macro editor, anybody, I'm just saying. Okay. Let's see here. Let me go back up. I know about the Muse, but it doesn't work with my, it does not work out of the box with my DJI mics. And that's a problem. Because, I mean, I can Bluetooth to any one of my cameras. The whole point of the mic is when I turn on the Pocket and I turn on my mic, it's automatically synced. So if the Muse could do that, I'd look at it. Because we think that it's just DJI anyway with the new badge. Anyway, yeah, I mean, like they were just saying, this extra Muse is basically a DJI clone. It's like $500. I mean, the DJI itself, I was like, I'll just buy another one. It's $800 now. I'm like, no, you're out of your mind. I paid like $500 for the whole creator kit. Now you want $800? Nope. I'll pick up my phone before I do that. And in all honesty, the whole thing with the new iPhone, I don't know where we at. I'm on 15. So I guess what, iPhone 17? Is that where we are? Being able to record with your front facing and the back camera. Shit. I mean, the difference is though, I'd have to get like a 1 terabyte camera. I mean, 1 terabyte phone. If I was going to invest that much, I'd have to get like a 1 or 2 terabyte. And I'm still waiting for the flip. I'm waiting for the flip. The fold, I should say. I hear it's coming out next year. And so far, my iPhone 15 has been rock solid. Like rock solid. I haven't had any problems with this phone. So I can wait. But I'm waiting for the iPhone flip. Now that they've come out with the Air, it's just a matter of time before that fold comes out. Okay, let's see here. Carly's gonna build her own 3-way tops. Hey, more power to you. I want nothing to do with it. I'm loving DJ. DJ added another one of your suggestions. What did they add? Trial versions can do that. Oh, gotcha. All right, let's see. I hate Apple products, says Jam Master D. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry. You need to turn it on. Okay, any recommendations? We talked about that. Miyagi Dojo in the building. What's going on? Well, thank you for that, Matthew. I appreciate that. Thank you. But I always find it funny though. But when I do like a product and I'm like, this is a really good product. And people are like, fanboy. And I'm like, it's funny. It took a long time for people to realize that, like, cause I told people, I'm like, I don't want to do shock jock. I don't want to do shock jock videos. I mean, if I do, it would be for a very specific point. But not just to do it. You know, like I said, first off, there's no bad products. So when a product is bad, it's usually not because the product is bad, but it might be, it priced itself out. Because that's how I review. I don't review gear based upon, I do it based upon the product, but I also have to take costs into play. Because like, if I'm reviewing a Flex 4 or a Flex 1, whatever, or a Rev 1 and a Flex 4, and I'm like, oh, well, this sucks. Oh, and this sucks. Oh, and then I'm like, how much does it cost? Oh, it's $200. Okay, this isn't bad. You get what I'm saying? Because it's different. But if I spend 1,500 and something's bad, I'm going to be like, that's this for the cost of this. This shouldn't be like this. That's the way I work. Oh, hey, Jam Master D, man. Congratulations. Here's to speedy recovery. That's no joke, but keep that passion alive for DJing. Yeah, it's amazing how much music can like keep you moving, keep you going. You know what I mean? Keep doing your thing, bro. Keep doing your thing. All right. The only thing I get, here's what I get. I love the look of your speakers. That's it. That's it. Ever since I started bringing the EVs out, these party planners that hate point source speakers are like, I just love your speaker. I love the speakers. Do you love the sound? You just love the way they look because they're out of the way. So yeah, Robert. But again, I'm saying we're saying the same thing. I'm just being a little more specific about, yes, you're right. Bad sound will always. I mean, it's the same thing with videos, right? I can have the worst camera on the planet, but if my sound is good as I'm talking, people will still watch the video. But let it be bad sound and a stellar looking video, people will turn it off. It's the same thing. But like, that's what I'm saying. It's very tough to get to that truly bad sound window. It's very tough. Okay, let's see here. I mean, Serato Studio, Flip has been around a lot longer than Serato Studio. Like, I remember using Flip. I remember doing a how-to Flip video. And the saddest thing is, I did that video. Let's see, we were in our old office. So it had to have been, we moved into that office at about 8 years in. 8 years in, we moved into an office from my garage. So I did that video when we were there. I'm assuming, and we've been in business, we're going on 19 years. So I'm assuming 10, 11 years ago, I did that video. No, it couldn't have been 10 years. I haven't been doing YouTube for that long. And so it must have been like, 7, 8 years ago. 8 years ago. My video still works. My how-to video still works. That's a problem because my how-to video should not work anymore, but it still works just fine. So it wasn't even Serato Studio. They just gave up. I don't know this to be true. Okay. This is just speculation, but I will say this. It feels like somebody either found it like off the shelf. They bought it off somebody and they were like, oh, this is dope. We can put this in there. Or the person who wrote the script, quit and didn't leave anything with them, or nobody knows how to tweak it after the fact. Because it hasn't changed. It hasn't changed since it was released. Okay. Did a backyard gig, about 75 people, at least 20 people asked about my speaker and sub. I was using my Diamondbox XL3 and a Diamondbox sub. They loved the sound. That's fantastic. Okay. Now I'm going to be the other guy. But what if you had some EV70s? How do you know they wouldn't have said the same thing? What if you had an LD Maui 44G? Or for 75 people, even a 28G3? How do you know they wouldn't say the same thing? You see what I'm saying? It's all perspective, and it's all relative to where you are and when you are. That's all I'm saying. Again, I'm not here to tell anybody what speakers to use or what not. There's a lot of great speakers out there. And I personally don't care what you use, but like, that's the same argument. Any argument you make, I can give you a counter argument. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I know Flip records the sensor. I'm saying record the stem instrumental part only. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. But I know. I had to clean up a track once. I was doing a wedding and they're like, play this song. I'm like, there are no clean versions of this song. And I just edited. I flipped just the first two verses and chorus. And I'm like, I'm done. Cause I'm like, I'm not getting past this. I've never fixed the flip ever. I never fixed the flip because I'm like, I'm never going past two verses. Life is funny. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to tell you something about me. I mean, I know that, Mixmaster knows this about me. I'm going to say this. I, hate using the H. I hate external drives. I use an external drive for my computer. You know, I use an external drive like when I'm recording and I can just move it over. But I hate external drives. I hate external drives on parties. I hate bringing external drives anywhere unless it's a backup. I hate external drives. So the fact that I have to clip, I'm not doing all that. I'll just buy a bigger phone. I will buy just a bigger storage drive on the phone. Now, I will use that external drive to move things off of my camera. I would do that in an instant. But I cannot stand relying on that external drive for anything because what if I forget it? I'll forget shit left and right. So no. I'd rather buy a 2 terabyte hard drive on my phone and call it a day. But if I buy that 2 terabyte hard drive phone, I'm not upgrading that phone for a while. So that's what I'm saying. I would rather just get myself a dedicated like an Ace and call it a day. You know, I can throw it in my pocket. I don't have to rely on the biggest thing for me. I don't have to rely on burning through my battery all night because I'm also going to have, you know, a battery MagSafe on here. So I don't want to have to worry about if I use my phone all night, it's going to be dead by the end of the night. So I can just use my dedicated camera, keep my phone because I need to talk to people because I got, 8 to 10 parties on a weekend. They need to get a hold of me. So that's all I'm saying. It's not for me. Yeah, agreed. I know it does. It's not the same though. Apple just has a way about them. They just know how to do things. I mean, in all honesty, that's all they did. They stole that double take and just integrated it into their system. You know that. That's the way Apple works. Yep, you're going to pay tariffs. Okay. I'm learning positioning correctly makes a big difference. This is true. For the amount of people in space, yes, that's how I was able to get deep base. Yeah. Placement is definitely important, especially outside. Now, I will say the newer speakers have gotten away. Like it used to be for like the Bose and a couple other smaller column arrays. Who else does it? The Bose does it. Oh, what's that other one? DOS Audio does it. Where when they're outside, they just lose their bass. So I was starting to rethink that like all array systems just don't do well outside. And then the LDs, then I tried the LDs, the 28G3s, and I was like, wow, these still sound good. And then the EVs sound great outside. And that's where they need to go. Everybody needs to go that route. Okay. Yep, I agree. I'm getting I was working through some Rain 1 MK2 issues. I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. So I still have my Rain Performer in my furniture, but I'm going to ask Danny Max to give me one for the Rain 1. And the reason being because of the backup. I mean, like 100%, I need to move out of it because of the backup. And it's dumb that the rain performer is not class compliant. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Okay. All right. Well, let's hope so. Miyagi's Dojo. I mean, you would know, but I mean, come on. It should have been a no-brainer. Okay. And I'll explain why it should have been a no-brainer, right? Because you got the Rev 7. Okay. Essentially same jogs. And so if the jogs were the confusing part, you have a reference. Okay. You got the Rain 1. Okay. It's already there. Everything's done. So all that movement, all that motion, all that stuff, this shouldn't be an issue. But I've had this Rain performer for a while now and DJ still won't work with it. So something's not right. And I feel like if it were something they could do quickly or easily, they would have done it. I mean, you can't come out with they would have done it. Anyway. A lot of times it is. How is life, Cleveland? I mean, it's fine. I'm here. I'm talking to you guys. I'm still alive. So yeah, it's good. A James from Comoros. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate that. Okay, let's jump up here a little bit and see what's going on. Mulberry in the building. All right, let's see. CT, that's not the point. The point is investing good. Robert, why are you arguing with me? You know, I told people last week, after my fast, my 90-day fast, it kind of like opened up my mind. Like my neurons were firing, and my patience has increased. Things are just, my outlook is different. Okay. So when I see things like this, I think about my wife. How I'll say, hey, honey, I'm thinking about doing this. She'll go, oh, you don't want to do that. Blah, blah. I'm like, well, this is why I want to do it and for me and blah, blah. Well, but I'm like, what? Why are you arguing with me? This is for me. This isn't for you. And the same thing. Yes, I agree, Robert. Good sound is important. I agree. But that's kind of irrelevant to what we've been talking about the whole time. Like I said, very clearly, and I will say it one more time. You can tell the difference between great sound and you can tell the difference between really bad sound, but all that sound in the middle, most people don't care. They don't care because it sounds solid. That's all I'm saying. It sounds solid. I know there are speaker snobs out there. I get it. And I'm not saying, and if you have the best speakers, then yes, you don't have to worry. But let's be honest. Let's be honest for a second here, Robert. Okay. And I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to everybody. All right. So don't be like, he's picking on me. Robert, there is a such thing as a budget and people can only buy what they can afford. They're investing in what they can afford, what's good for their parties. That's all. That's all. And I've been to plenty of parties where, their budget is lower or whatever. And, somebody has some standard speakers. They're good enough. They EQ them properly. It's appropriate for the right size of the event. Because that argument can be made. I'm like, well, there's only 50 people. Yes, but I want to bring the best sound. So I'm going to bring the EV90s. I'm going to bring my point source. I know if I bring that, there's no room. I'm going to be able to play for anybody. It's going to sound great. Great. That's great logic. And if you only have one system, perfect. But I have multiple systems and I'm going to bring what's appropriate for the party. That's still going to sound good, but just like speakers are important, so is their budget. And if they're not paying me trash, if they're not paying me enough, gave them a deal, whatever, it's a school event and their budget, I'm not showing my ass in that party. Okay. I'm just not doing it. Now you want to turn around and pay me, $5,000 for my event. You want to pay me $10,000 for my event. You're going to get the good stuff. You're going to get the good stuff. So it's all relative. It's all relative, you know, but I'm not going to shit on somebody that doesn't have my speakers or my quality of speakers, because there's so many variables that could come into play, you know, and unless they sound terrible, I'm fine. My flip video was uploaded 7 years ago. Thank you very much. 7 years. Okay. Huh. Because of the pandemic, I can't grasp when I started making YouTube videos. I have to actually look back, but I think I'm on my 8th year. Any recommendations for capturing content, since DJing is hard to get? I do have 16 gig pro, but didn't want to type the phone. In all honesty, it really, get an Insta. The X5 Insta360 is great in low light. I mean, that's the one where you just turn it on and you forget about it. That's what I'd recommend. Because essentially, if you do it the other way, like, oh, I have my phone, or I get a DJI, a Pocket. Well, now, that camera's on you, and then you have to make it a point to flip it around, but you're going to miss out on things that way. Because there's been a couple of times where I'm just like, oh, I got that, and I didn't even know I got it, just because the camera, it's a 360 camera. So that's what I would recommend. Oh my God, Robert is still arguing with me. Robert, do your own thing, man. Do your own thing. I've been in business now for a long ass time, and I do nothing but high-end events. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here to complain. I'm not here to tell the next person what they should or shouldn't do. I'm just here to give my opinion about some speakers or some questions. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Still get a small light cage. Yeah, I mean, I've used that thing in the dark and it's been pretty solid, but just do your thing. I would say buy one. They're pretty affordable, and then take it out, see how it works. If you need a light, grab a light. My issue with the X5 in using the regular view and not the 360 view is that it seems super zoomed out. So I realized I just need to record. Yeah. And it's got that smart setting in the system where you can just hit the button and it just, flips it. And that works, but I record everything in 360. I'll fix it in post. Robert Spencer. Sorry. No, nobody's doing anything. Literally. Like, I want people to understand this. I'm completely fine. Like, nothing's going to offend me. Nothing's going to get under my skin. It's just not the way it works. Like, I'm fine with that. But at a certain point, I'm just like, okay, like, I hear you. I hear a lot. This happened before. I'm like, guys, I hear you. You pride yourself in the best stuff. Do it. You should pride yourself in the best stuff. But I'm also aware that not everybody can afford the best stuff. And to say things like, either do it right or don't do it at all, that doesn't work for me, is all I'm saying. So, because I talk to everybody, like everybody, literally, I go to conferences, I see people that have like zero money, and I see people that, that clear $1 million a year in gross profits, so that's why I'm like, there's a relative for everything here, and I used to be that way where I'm like, oh, just get this, and I'm just like, I until I started reviewing products and really seeing how everything is and how everything works, it's just different, like I just see things differently now, but you should absolutely do what's best for you. Like, I have people that are like my biggest thing where people are like, okay, well, what should I buy first? I have this and I have this. What should I buy first? And I always tell people, I'm like, get yourself, they're like, well, maybe I'll get this crappy sub and this. I'm like, get yourself like some good 15s. If that's all you're going to use. I mean, you might be able to get away with 12s, but like I always say, like the JBL SRX 15s are some of the best, just speaker tops. You don't have sub, you don't have anything else. You just need to run speakers. They just sound amazing, right? Now, but people are like, oh, well, I need to do this and I need to do this. And I'm just like, stop buying for what what people think you should have. Because people go, oh no, don't do that. Buy this shitty system right here. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Get yourself good highs first. And then you can add a crappy sub or later on sell them if you're finally ready to move up. But if price point is an issue, you got to be smart. LDI Koas 15s are very good speakers. Very good. If you can fit them in your truck because they're big. That is the only issue about the ICOA series is they're big. And you know, they're pretty heavy too. But yeah, they're really, really good. You're on the air. You're on the air, not on. Don't know what that means. I'm always broke, says Mulberry. Hey, I'm broke too. I got kids in dance and in college and home and paying for grandparents. Like, I'm always broke too. Okay. But we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. Oh my God. This is the one thing I will tell you. I have not been editing immediately. Worst thing you can do. Worst thing you can do. Or at our minimum, what I will say is start getting in the habit. You can hotkey. Hold on, let me go grab it. I'm gonna sneak some food too. Okay. Oh, thank you. I didn't realize. Okay. I got a case within a case. So apparently somebody told me about this and I had no idea. So, you know, when you turn it on and mine is going to be dead, it's dead. So there's your power button on the side, and then you have your action buttons here, you know, 1 and 2. But you also have this like macro button that you can change. Somebody told me this, and it's probably the best thing that they could have told me about this. You set this button right here to flag. So anytime you're doing something, if something good happens, hit the flag button. And then those are the ones that you edit, are the flags instead. And then you can just jump to those. Yeah. So that's the tip I will give you. And I bought, I think this is a 1 terabyte card in this thing. Because I know, I'm like, I don't want to fill it up. I don't want to think, but like on my regular camera, not a big deal. But on this one, you got to edit quickly. You got to edit. Yeah, but you're right, Matthew. Definitely go back and scrub. Okay. Oh, we're still talking about speakers. Look, I will tell you this, okay? This is the last thing I'll say about speakers. And this is why speakers are relative. The person behind the speakers is just as important. Because I have done or gone to many conferences, right? Sometimes they're sponsored by DAS Audio. Sometimes they're sponsored by RCF. Sometimes they're sponsored by EV, Pioneer, whatever have you, okay? 50th anniversary of hip hop. RCF was providing the sound in the nightclub, okay? When I tell you I have never had a worse time at an event than when standing there listening to those speakers, I mean it. Whoever was the engineer should have been fired immediately. It was the worst sound I've ever heard. Okay? These are RCF speakers. Supposedly some of the best that money can buy. Okay? Don't say anything, Robert. Some of the best that money can buy. And I would never have bought them if that was my only exposure to those speakers. That's how bad they sounded. So, you know, that's why I'm saying, like, a lot of times a bad speaker is really the person who's running it. It's not the speaker itself. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Okay. Yeah, just get a bigger card. You can get them on Amazon. You can get a terabyte for like $120 nowadays. That terabyte used to cost like $900. Life has changed. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Now, don't get me wrong. You mess with me enough, I'm gonna bite back. Okay, that's just me. I'm Capricorn. I don't take shit. But I'm just more allowing now. Like especially with my family. So I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the story. So hold on. Jay Buck in the building. What's going on, fam? Good to see you, man. I'll answer Jay Bucks and then we'll talk about the walls. So how often are you doing the LED walls? I am truly interested in some sort of production platform with them. Well, okay. Are we your average company? I'm going to say no. Okay. The amount of, I'm becoming a true Libra. I'm a Capricorn. My wife's a Libra. That's a whole nother animal. We have the benefit, okay, of obviously many years of like success. Track record speaks for itself. People knew that if we're going to do something, we're going to do the best we can. Okay. So when we decided to do the walls, people didn't even hesitate. Now we still had to come through and actually do a good wall, you know, when I do something, I mean, come on guys, you know me. When I do something, I research the hell out of it. Like back and forth until I know everything about it, just to see, I'm like, can we do this? How hard is this going to be? If I'm not here, who else can do this? Can I walk somebody through it? Is it, what's going to take? What's the cost of fixing these things? All of these little things. Okay. All these little things. And, so when we decided, we were like, hey, we're thinking about doing walls. And they're like, oh, let me know when you get them. Like it wasn't, now, of course, you know, there's levels of planners, and the higher the tier, the more reluctant they are, because obviously they're doing, you know, $500,000 to $1 million events. So they're like, well, hold on, we'll see, blah, 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 right? So then, you know, we utilize the people that were smaller. And this is what I will say about the LED walls, okay? They're not for the faint of heart. You know, you can't just buy an LED wall. You got to buy the processor. You got to buy the cabling. You got to buy the trussing to build the wall. And there are different sizes. So like we just did a 10 by 20 last Saturday. So you have to know that. You have to know what your panels can do. You know, how much, what you want to do 4K, you want to do 1080, you know, how data runs, like all these things are important. We just bought an MX30 literally yesterday because we're doing 2 walls every weekend now. We were renting the other processor. I'm like, screw it. 2 reasons. One, I hate Windows. And now the MX30 processors can do both Windows and PC. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I don't have to touch the PC, because I'm going to talk about the PC in just a minute, and then that's going to be it. And I'm going to go. Now, this is what I will say about the walls. If you take the time, you do the research, you do the repairs, because nobody likes a whole bunch of dead pixels on their panels, right? So you got to pay. We just had all of our pixels fixed over the past 1.5 years, 2 years. And it cost us like $3,500 to repair all the panels. Okay. So that's a maintenance fee that you're going to have to do, you know, every year or so. So that's kind of a big deal for a lot of people. Now, having said all of that, okay. Our bottom line has shot through the roof just from doing these walls. Everything, Pablo. It could be the walls. It could be the cabling. We had some power cords that we had bought that were the wrong gauge, and it literally just like popped off. I don't even think it was the power. I think it was my people. They're pulling them out because people are dumb. They're pulling them out. They're pulling on the thing, and it's pulling. Anyway, it's been kind of an ordeal. Don't have to replace the panels per se, but you gotta replace the dead pixel. So they got to, take it off and then resolder it, put the new pixel on. I'm not doing all that. Okay. I'm gonna let a professional do that because then I know it works. And then, a couple of edges. We still have multiple panels that they sent us, just the modules. It would take a hell of a lot to like destroy a module. It's all I'm going to say. You have to be so uncareful with your stuff. If you're careful, you're fine. Okay. But our bottom line, like compared to what we made, I'm not going to talk about how much we make, guys. I'm not going to do that. But compared to since we've been doing the walls, and look, we've done more than that. We do walls, we do LED floors, and we do lighting installs. Okay. Every one of those things can be at a minimum, 3,000, at a high, you're talking anywhere between per thing. You're talking anywhere between, 5 and 10K. Per thing. So you can do the math on bottom lines here. Okay. What I love about the walls and what I love about production, Pablo's right. You need a crap ton of people. Okay. And they need to be good. They need to be hard workers. And they need to be disciplined, right? On time. And that is very, very hard to find. Okay. And it absolutely will not fit in your hatchback. You will absolutely need like a 15-foot truck, with the ramp or a, motor, to get it anywhere. Okay. But you need the right people in place. And right now I'm kind of acting as the foreman for all of our events, because I know what looks good and I know what I want to see. And there's still a difference from when I'm there versus when I'm not there for the quality. And I still need somebody that's like, has my vision. It's really hard to find people that share your vision. Okay. There's that. But I've said this before. Here's the issue. With our multi-op, let's say with our multi-op, we make a minimum of anywhere between 30 and 50% profit on our packages. 30 being the minimum. If it's not 30%, we're not taking the party. Okay. So 30 to 50% usually just on the standard package, DJ, MC, maybe dancers, whatever. Then the add-ons, yes, we'll start making more money off of our add-ons, video projection, uplighting. Like those are things that people just book all the time. They'll book cryo, cold sparklers, as long as they're booking photo booth, as long as they're booking that, we'll make that profit. All right. But keep in mind that talent costs more. So you pay more for talent than you do anything else. Right. So remove the talent and now all you have is workers. That price drops down. Okay. Drops down. So now you're putting in for the labor fee when you're giving the invoice, for the LED wall, for the lighting, for the floor, right? So they're getting paid regardless, which means that besides the truck, everything that you are making is profit. So like the margins have like shot through the roof for us. Look, we're still growing. We're still trying to make this a consistent thing. I'm shocked every time that we're doing these walls every time. And people are trusting us and we do a good job. That's key. You can't just say, oh, and do a wall now. And then you get there and you do a shitty job and they're like, okay, thanks. And then you just never get booked again. Okay. So we don't release anything to the public until we know it's ready. And if we do release it to the public, we're giving it to them for free. Cold sparklers. Hey, we don't know if people are going to buy them. Hey, lady, just want to let you know we're bringing some stuff for you. We're not charging you for it, but it's good marketing. Okay, great. We did the cold sparklers one party. We ended up booking it like 75 times off of that one party. Okay, cryo, same thing. Hey, you're getting it for free. Bam. I want the cryo. I want the cryo. I want the cryo. So once people start to see that you do good work, like our walls, our visuals, everything is clean and it looks great. And we bought the 2.5 pitch, which is why our walls look better than a lot of other companies out there, because a lot of other companies bought the 3.8, 3.5, whatever, and they don't look as good and they give problems to the photographer. Our walls do not give problems to the photographers. That's key. That's key. Anyway, but if you can do them, great. But they're not cheap, especially right now with tariffs. You know, even without tariffs, I mean, we paid for essentially two walls. We paid about $25,000 for, and that covered one ground setup for a 10 by 16 wall. And then, yeah, so that included all that, included the processor. So then when we started doing the second wall, we had to buy another $5,000 worth of bases and ladder trusses, more cords, etc., more boxes, all that stuff. So that was that. But now they're both going out all the time. You know, I have my daughter trained in it, which leads me to my weekend. Okay. And then I have to go. So I appreciate you guys all hanging out today, by the way. Why not use a projector with a high brightness and a green wall? Because it's nothing close to an LED wall. You don't buy an LED wall. You don't, buy, or somebody rents it from you. You don't buy an LED wall because you just want to show visuals. You buy an LED wall because you're like, I'm trying to say something. Okay. And my high-end clients are always trying to say something. And the reason that we bought the walls, had nothing to do with us. We just kept going to parties and seeing LED walls on the parties and going, wait a minute. And then we found out how much they charge. We're like, wait a minute, why aren't we doing this? This is dumb. So that's why. But yeah, it's so night and day difference. Like such a night and day difference. Like even when people are like, I don't want the wall, I just want 2 TVs. I'm like, okay. Or can you do a rear screen projection? Okay. It's never the same. It's never the same. Projection mapping versus LED. Well, yeah, of course. So what would you use 8 foot for? 8 foot for? All the walls, all of our walls are typically around, the smaller ones we'll do is like a 7 by 14. We're doing actually a smaller one this time. I think we're doing a 6 by 10 because that's the only space they have in there. But yeah, we've done upwards of 10 by 20, which is a big wall. It's a big wall. I wasn't there for that one. I was so sad. I've only personally gone up to 10 by 18. But yeah, so we have a 7 by 14 this week and a 10 by 18, 10 by 16. And it's just fun. And it's just night and day difference. I wish I could explain it, but if you walk into a room and see a humongous video wall just right in front of you, it becomes the centerpiece of your whole party. We don't have, okay. Content, Scott? Like legitimately? Like you haven't, okay. Let me just back up. Maybe you haven't. Have you? Someone's here. Maybe it's my wife. Have you ever been to like a nightclub? And there's, a big LED wall somewhere around there. Hold on, let me make sure it's my wife. Okay, hold on. I just heard the door. Give me half a second. Okay. That was weird. Okay. Yeah. they're saying, Mac Attack is saying the Sphere, any type of hotel where you see, big ass wall. Those are all walls, but for private events, the wall is for the theme of the night. They're like, oh, we're doing graffiti. So, they got a whole bunch of neon and a whole bunch of stuff. And then the wall comes in, bam. And now you got like a graffiti wall visuals, and they're all changing. There's a video person there running it. When you start dancing, the wall's changing. All the dynamics are changing. You're hearing music. They're connecting the words of the song with with the visuals. So it's like a full on thing. Your eyes and ears are both being worked. It's great. It's great. Yeah. So, and then the montage, if someone has a montage, it's on there. The logo, all that stuff. It's essentially, okay, it is the upgraded version of a balloon arch with their logo hanging up. So there you go. Yeah, I get it. Completely understand. The LED walls charged by each panel. LED wall charge. Yes, correct. So what I do, I have a fixed cost for delivery and setup. Okay, that doesn't change regardless. So then I do the fixed cost, and then I take the panels, and then I multiply them, and then that's the number that they have. So it works well for us. The dance floor, however, the LED dance floor, it's a little harder. So we're just doing we're basically making it like 3,500, and then we just go from there. It's up to 20 by 20, because it's too hard to do the squares, and it's like, okay. And if somebody's like, oh, it's too much, I'll just drop the price. Fine. I just want the wall out there. I want the floor out there. And all I got to pay is like, $600 to have 2 roadies come, set it up, break it down, take it home, and I've made another $2,000. Now I know some people are going to be like, well, $2,000, that's not that much. Well, it is when you have, 10 parties going out, and now you're making $2,000 on everyone. And that's just for the cheap people. There's much higher profits in there, so that's production. Production is where the money is. Okay. What's a good pin spot for disco ball? I mean, anything will work. Most people will use just like a wash light, not like the old school, flood, and we'll hit it. But any light will work, but just make sure it's bright enough so it can really reflect off the ball. Who makes those? Everybody. There are tons of people. So that's where we're going. Literally pivoting into production. In my older age, I want to be able to, and I'm not going to be DJing as much. So, but still, I can still be out there doing my thing. I don't love the rental business because people don't take care of your stuff. And because of that, we charge more. And because of that, people don't want to do it. Like we do, our rental business is an install only rental business. What do I mean by that? I mean that if somebody's like, hey, I need to rent, turntables, a mixer, some lighting, a front board, a booth. We're like, okay, cool. But you also have to pay for the roadie. What do you mean? There's a roadie that's going to come. They're going to set it up. And then when you're done with the party, they're going to break it down and bring it back. So you're paying for the roadie. You're paying for the transportation. What if I want to do it myself? Nope. Because this is also our stuff, our production stuff, and you people break stuff. So we don't rent unless you're willing to pay for that. So our fees are higher. And I don't care because I don't need to rent. Okay, so last thing, then I got to go. So this weekend, we had all of our parties. I happened to be in Idaho. And the only reason why I was in Idaho, because I didn't need to be, was because the MC, who's also our office manager, he didn't want to go. Because I'm like, I need to have somebody who's got a corporate card and is able to do this stuff. And so we don't have to deal with anything. You can Uber them, buy people food, whatever. So I was there. But in the meantime, we had an LED floor install, a big LED wall, and lighting installed at El Rey Theater. And then, all the parties with a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay. So my daughter's running it. I'm like, look, and two things had to happen. So one thing was on the wall, I had to re-spin or diagnose how I was wiring my data cables on the panels. And when we're doing smaller things, like I can run 10 panels from left to right on a data cable and I won't have any problems. But once you get past that, it starts to screw up. Okay. Like you start getting flickering and all these weird things. So, I knew I was doing a 10 by 20 wall, so I couldn't get away from that. That's like 12 panels going all the way across. So now I had to reconfigure the way it is. And then, it's like this, you're doing like a snake up. You can go straight up too, straight up, whatever. I don't need to run, that many. So I like to do like 6 ports because every port can only do a maximum amount of pixels. So once you go above that, then you start running the processor harder. Maybe you start getting glitches and screen tearing and all that stuff. So 8 panels is like pretty much what they recommend. But I've been doing 10 since the beginning. So when we did the 10 by 18, I ran 3 rows and just did, 10 panels. And at the 10th panel, then I reconfigured and did one over there, one of these things, right? Worked out just fine. But I noticed that when it went all the way across, I was seeing the screen tearing. So I saw it. So on this one, I'm like, I need to get it the right way. I wasn't there. So I literally had to take pictures, show them the thing. This is how it's set up in the system. Do all this, do all that. And that's so funny. The Sphere, I just got an advertisement for. But they're not listening. Everything was fine. My roadies were fine. They got everything done. They barely asked me any questions, except for the fact that like there weren't enough cords in the back. I don't know why. I had already checked the cords, whatever. So I was on the phone with my daughter for about an hour, just kind of going through stuff, making sure she was good with everything before she left. And then, and I'm just sitting at the table in the hotel from legitimately like 12 o'clock to like 5 o'clock when we had to leave. Just talking to people the whole time. So we got in the cords, sort of similar to outside panels. They're going to be a different pixel pitch, pixel density. So like those outdoor ones are probably running 6s to 12 as far as like the space between the pixels. Because the farther away you are, the larger the pixels can be. Okay. So after I'm done, so I'm working with my daughter, we're getting everything going. We're working on her controller and all that stuff. Then they're taking too long. And that's the thing. When I'm not there, they just slow down. So I'm like, hey guys, speed the fuck up. You're like, you're killing me right now. I got to go to my party. And then at that point, I don't know if I'm going to have internet. I don't know if I'm going to have all these things. I need it to be done. So we're about to leave. And she FaceTimes me. She's like, hey, so the panels are off. We had just gotten all these panels repaired. Okay. And different people have been running our screens. So when you have a processor and it's running the screen, you basically load your settings into that panel set. Okay. So once they're loaded into the memory of the panels. Okay. So if I then go to mine and I put that panel up, it's going to either be discolored, come bright, too low, whatever. It's going to have whatever you set for those. Okay. So I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, we can fix that. That's not a problem. There was like 6 panels that needed to be reflashed. So I'm like, we can fix that. Go get the computer out of the box. It's a red computer. It's got the Nova CT software on it. Okay. She opens it up, turns it on. Okay. I'm going to grab the USB. It's plugged into the back of the processor. You're going to plug it into the computer. She walks around, comes back and says, oh, the computer's off. What do you mean the computer's off? By the way, it's the red one, the one, the DJ one. Anyway, computer's off. oh, okay, plug it in. It's not coming back on. So we're trying to get the thing back on. It's not coming back on. And I'm like, well, shit. Photographer's like, hey, when can I take a picture? I'm like, it's not even cocktail yet. Back up. These photographers, you're doing too much. What if it's cocktail hour? Fine. Okay. But not cocktail hour? Shut up. I don't care what you have to do. Anyway, so computer's not coming up. And I'm like, oh my God, the restore file is on that computer. And now it won't turn on. Like, shit. So now we're trying to get the computer on, trying to do everything, and nothing's working. That computer won't turn on, right? And I'm like, oh my God. Meanwhile, the party planner for my party is like, hey, when are you guys showing up? I'm waiting for the Uber. By the way, Idaho, there's literally like 3 Uber drivers. We missed our first flight because our Uber driver never showed up in the morning to take us to the airport. 3 Uber drivers. All right. And I'll remind me to tell you the other story next week. So now I'm in the car. I'm literally on my iPad talking her through it. My daughter's getting all mad and emotional. Why are you being so mean? I'm like, I'm not being mean. I'm just being focused. And I'm only asking you questions that I need you to answer. I don't want to have a conversation. I just want to fix the problem. So just please focus. I'm like, did I raise my voice? Did I curse you out? I didn't do any of these things. But some of your words, I'm like, I'm just trying to get it done. So she's 27. Like, come on, girl. Anyway, so I get to my party. The party that I rented, lighting, sound, and a table and front board. By the way, I get there. They had already had lighting built in. They were already providing lighting for the party. They were already providing, and I'm like, you guys charged me for lighting. And you didn't bother to mention to me, hey, no, you don't need to rent lighting. We already have lighting. Why'd you charge me? Anyway, lesson learned. So I get there. They have one of those standard black tables that you pull out and it clips, click, right? We're not talking about that lighting. We're talking about light. We're talking about real lighting, pen spots, table spots, washes, gobos. That's what we're talking about. Not just your DJ lighting. Anyway. Okay. So now I'm like, dude, why is the table 2 feet high? They're like, oh, we didn't know how tall you were going to be. Ha 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 ha. I'm like, bro, I don't have time for this. Come on. So we tried to, and now I know why we tried to lift it up. Things won't click in. They brought me a busted table. So now we're trying to fix that thing. And I'm trying to talk to my daughter, try to get this up. So I'm like, she's like, nothing's working, and they're getting on me now. I'm like, okay. I'm like, let me just think for a minute. Let me just think. And I'm like, what is the name? What is the digits of that stupid restore file? And I just typed in restore file LED, and it came up. It was like RGFX, right? And it came up on the internet. Hey, the file is .rgx. I typed that into my computer, my 14, not even my 16 that has all my stuff, my 14. I type it in. I had it. I had it on my computer because I'm smart. And I'm like, I should probably back this up one day, because what happens if? And I had it on my computer. I emailed it over to her because it's literally like 17 kilobits. I emailed it over to her, started walking her through this, and she's still like, I'm like, okay, go here, type in the password, go here, click on this. Why is it green? Why is the button green? Click it again. Why isn't it working? Right? She's like, nothing's working. I'm like, okay, close it out. Let's start again. Click on this, put the password in, click on this button. Why is it green? You know what? Are you clicking on the right corner of that PC? Oh yeah, click on the other side. That's why it's green. Okay, now it's blue. Okay, restore. Go look at the screen. Is it fine? It's fine. We're done. We're good. And then I'm like, now let me get back to my own party. And then during cocktail, I called my daughter back, and I'm like, hey, nothing personal. It had nothing to do with you. I just got to get it done. These people, if somebody spends $10,000 for something, you kind of want to make sure it works. And you're kind of completely unconcerned with what anybody else thinks in the world. You got to get this fixed. So anyway. Well, yeah, I mean, in general, this was the first time because I've always run the walls, and I do have all my manuals and everything else on there. I just didn't even think about that because I had like 3 computers, you know, and then if I hire a guy to come do it, they're going to bring their own stuff and they're going to run all their processes too. So anyway, but all good. And more importantly, I know it sucks for me, but stress is a part of running and owning a business. It was good for her because now she understands, because she's going to have to do the same thing again. Because we have 2 walls this weekend. I guarantee you she's going to need to reflash it. Guaranteed. Because she used my panels, not her, not the panels that are going with the other party. So, yeah, in this case, it wouldn't have mattered because the PC that we needed died, but now she's got it on her other PC. So it's always there now. And more importantly, because that PC was just like a borrow from my partner. He used it during the pandemic as a streaming computer. That's why I knew it was going to work. And I told him yesterday, I'm like, you're not getting that PC back. So if you need to buy one, just buy another one. He's like, oh, I don't use that anymore. And I'm like, good, because you can use your M4. Anyway, because I'm like, that's the spare computer now. She knows how to use it. You know, the one problem with any PCs, the biggest problem I have with PCs is the audio cards are trash in them. So like the headphone jack is terrible. So I trained her to use, oh, she's going to have to bring my mixer. I trained her to use the Mackie Pro FX 10 Go to run it through the USB-C. So there you go. I didn't see her. I was in Idaho. So yeah, I was going to get Parallels for desktop and it's only like $60 a year. I've already looked into it, but now that I have the MX30, I'll still get it anyway. But now that I have the MX30, which does Windows and PC, like I'm good on my end, but still it's good to have in case I need to go, I'm with her, I need to flip some things around. Anyway. Yeah. So, all right. Oh yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying here. But thank you, Kello. Yeah, that's it. I got to get going, guys. Windows and Mac. What did I say? I might have said something else. If I did, sorry. Yes, I meant Windows and Mac. But I'm a Mac guy. So I always had to bring a computer. Now I don't have to bring that computer. It goes through Ethernet and your, you know what I'm saying? Your IP address. Okay. Yes, Parallels is Windows on Mac OS. Correct. Windows and PC. I mean, it's Windows. It's not Windows and PC. It's Windows. That's literally the software. Windows. Am I missing something? So there's Mac, which is Mac OS, and then there's Windows for PC. That's what you said. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, I got to run because I got a Zoom meeting in 2 minutes. Thank you guys for showing up today. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate all of you all the time. After I'm done with this montage, I got one more big project and then I'm done. I can start focusing on all the stuff that I need to do, which means all this gear. You're going to see a shit ton of gear reviews. Shit ton of gear reviews. Because now the weight's off my shoulders and I can get back to doing the stuff. Anyway, have great parties this weekend, guys. And I'll let you know about my parties that I'm having this week, next week. See you soon. If I can find my intro, I will see you next week. Always have great parties. Peace out.